Today's episode is brought to you by PTZ Optics. Disability Upgrade. New Wave Toys and their Replicate Amusements products. GG Retrobox. Get 3 to 5 games from your favorite series, consoles, and game genres delivered to your doorstep every month with GG Retrobox, the ultimate retro gaming subscription box for video game enthusiasts. Use code GRS15 at checkout to get 15% off your first box. And
Boom shakalaka! Hey everybody, it's Tim Kitzer here, the voice of some of your favorite video games like NBA Jam and NFL Blitz. And I'm here to talk to you about Old School Gamer Magazine. It's the magazine for retro gaming, and it's exploding. Kaboom! Print issues come out every other month, and if you want to go green, digital options are available. Visit oldschoolgamer.com and subscribe now. That's oldschoolgamer.com. Boom shakalaka! Kaboom!
Well. Hit my microphone. I nailed my mic. Turning your mic on, I nailed mic on again. How to screw up the audio. Have to start.
It ain't.
Happy Friday, everybody.
It ain't our show without an audio problem.
That's right. So if you watch a show with us on it and there's no audio problems, you're
not watching the right show.
It's not us. We've been cloned. The aliens took us out. Captain Kennedy found me.
How you doing, sir? Good.
You know what? I've been worse. I've been better. But it is Friday, and we have a bunch of great guys in the chat as usual.
You want me to ramble them off?
Nail them, buddy. Go for it.
All right. So we got a small gang, but that's okay. So we got Jason, our AI, I guess we call him. Mickey Yoon, welcome. Video Game Vegas. Jim the Pacers fan. He's not a Oilers fan or a hockey fan. No, I'm joking. Sir Sega, welcome. Andy's Game Room. What else we got here? Plisket's Run. Hobby Hands. Goofy Foot. Stephen M. Epcus. Who else we got here? Elio. I'm going down the list and it's scrolling a little fast. Shotgun Sean, Chris Ford, Plisket's run again. JLS Gaming from Florida. Hello, Jeff D. Let's see here. Ritual Dello. I think that's how he's pronounced it. I've been saying Ritualdo the whole time. So
don't ask me to say it. So whatever you say, Stephen.
Rich Ongren. I butchered that. Green Sammy, Paul Capel, Bill's Retro Gaming Show, Adam Caleb, everybody else, Sean, which is my cousin from London, Ontario. I'll give you his address later. No, I'm joking. Jeremy Simpsons. Welcome, everyone, on a Friday. Is it hot as hell over there?
You know what?
Invader Dave.
It's in the States, at least in New York. Today we had a heat index of about 103, and my central air couldn't get the house below 82. But I think it just rained.
Tilt.
Yeah, running constantly, like nonstop. It just couldn't get that anymore. So it was pretty hot, but it's cool. It rained a little bit right now, and I think it cooled off a little bit. But it looks like a lot of other guys here are saying as well. It's been pretty hot.
How's the weather been in your neck of the woods, guys? In the chat there, yeah.
Horrible here. I
gotta get out the Fahrenheit to.
Yes. Remember, the U.S. is Fahrenheit and miles, and we want the rest of the world to understand that.
Okay, so
we are the
100
USA.
what is the 103?
103. Yeah,
39 degrees Celsius. So that's hot.
When I hear 39 degrees, that's chilly. Cold.
No, 39 Celsius is, I won't say an oven, but pretty damn hot. Here where we were, I think it was about 30 up here in northern Ontario, Canada. So it's been pretty hot up here too, but my stupid air conditioning started clogging the drain for the water. So water just started pouring out of this thing, and I'm losing my mind and stressing out because I don't know anything about HVAC stuff, you know.
I don't know nothing about birthing no babies. That was sorry, going with the wind reference. Sorry about that.
Yeah. So, but anyways, it's AC's been on steady here in the house, so it's been pretty hot up here too.
The funny thing is, my Cole is in his room constantly. I got him his own AC last year because he likes to have a little bit colder than I do. You know, he's a bigger kid, younger, and I'm an old man.
Yeah.
So he says, "Don't put it in. This is for Cole. You're going to die in your room." He goes, "Well, I guess some bugs got in once, and because of a couple of bugs got in, he just want the AC unit in there."
That was it.
That was it. So he'd rather sweat in his room
than have
the AC for a couple of bugs. Yeah. And I actually bought him a lightsaber bug zapper. It looks like a lightsaber, but it's got the grid. So you just swing and you hit the button and you nail the bugs. I would love that as a kid.
Yeah, I was going to say, that sounds like a lot of fun.
I would love it.
But here in where I live, we had a tornado warning earlier this week, and the power cut out like all over the place. My server, it's so hard on a server when your power just abruptly stops.
People have to remember that Stephen has his own website, but he has his own website company. He hosts a lot of people's stuff. So
it's not my web server. It's my home server with my files and stuff. That is the backup of my thing. But yes, I do web development, and basically when the power cuts out, it's rebuilding the RAID and everything, and I'm like, this one day's all going to die. And power company, they don't care.
I've
got 6 UPSs in my house. Yes, Video Game Vegas.
I got UPSs everywhere.
What happens is that I have certain servers, and they're plugged into USB. So when there's about 2 minutes left on the clock on the battery, it doesn't auto shut down. Yes, but it's still a pain in the ass. Still a pain in the ass to have the power cut out all the time. It's like it's a pain in the butt. So, anyways, so
real quick.
So what do you?
Real quick, I want to say my brother. He went away to the Jersey Shore. He was going to go to the Cape. Went to Jersey Shore. He turned 60 today. Today is June 21st, first day of summer. Today's my brother's 60th birthday. So happy birthday to my brother Gary.
Happy birthday, Gary. Yeah.
Funny thing is, my son Cole was supposed to be born today. He was born at 32 weeks. He was born early. He was supposed to be born today. He was actually born right before my birthday on May 1st. But happy birthday to Gary. And I do believe there's a birthday coming up in your household, Stephen, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, tomorrow is my daughter's 16th birthday. So happy birthday to my daughter.
How many rifles do you own?
2.
Good. Okay, keep them loaded. Keep them loaded.
Yeah, they're not very powerful. It would just give somebody a scratch, but it's 16 years old tomorrow. I'm losing. These gray hairs aren't going away anytime soon. So it's
now she's 16. That's a big thing for girls. You're having a big party for her for 16.
Well, a little bit. I don't know how many people are going to show up or not. I just sit in my corner and watch the disaster happen, kind of thing. So I just, so it's like, anyways.
Because I tell you, if I had a daughter in the house, there would be guns. There's already cameras everywhere, so I would know that. But I would feel bad for any. First of all, I wouldn't let him have a boyfriend. He's not 30 yet. When he turns 30, he can have a boyfriend.
Can't tell them any different, Glenn. They do what they want. So it's like whatever. But yeah, so 2 birthdays, Gary and Erica, and that's awesome. Mine's in the winter. It's in December. My birthday. Yours is in May. It just went by.
Mine's in May. So everyone in the chat, if you guys have a birthday coming up, let us know. We'll be more than happy to announce your birthday out there. Let everyone know you're as old as Stephen and I. We'd be happy to do that.
Yeah. Video Game Vegas has all the guns, light guns. Yeah, that's true.
Don't let them know that, man. They don't know. Kids today have no clue. They have no clue. None.
So I did something this week.
Okay.
I watched the 4th episode of Acolyte. I made you cringe before the show a little bit.
What is wrong with you?
I'm curious. That's all. It's kind of like I don't know what it's like. It's kind of like you're just curious. You have hope that this Star Wars. No, it's not getting any better. It sucks. I'm watching the next episode going, oh, maybe it'll get better. Oh, maybe the next episode will get better. It's like, no.
I refuse to watch it. I will not watch it, but I do watch other content creators like Star Wars Theory. And Star Wars Theory's got, 3.5 million people.
He
was a diehard Star Wars guy, but diehard Lucasfilm. Like, he was tight with Lucasfilm for a long time. And now he's like me. He can't stand Lucasfilm. He can't believe what they're doing to the property.
He's blacklisted, apparently. He doesn't get no more free nothing.
Now.
And it's terrible. 4th episode, yes. Vader 86, Dave D, basically. He basically says that 4th episode was better than the 3rd. Not by much. But a friend of mine...
Let's be honest. When you go out and you have bad Chinese food and you throw up 4 times... There's probably less vomit on the 4th time than the first 3.
Yeah,
that doesn't necessarily mean it was better. It's still vomit.
At the end of the day, if you're not wanting to watch Acolyte, I don't blame you. I'm watching it out of mere curiosity at this point. It's not like I'm going, hey, it's awesome. I'm not sitting here saying it's awesome. But I was explaining to Glenn before the show. The actors, my buddy said it perfectly. He's like, the actors are like after school special actors. They're just starting out in the industry and they're not seasoned or anything like that. They're just, Jason, less diarrhea. Take the small wins, I guess so. But the show, what sucks about this show so far?
The show
just got crap.
The show just 98%.
Oh, it does. But what's stupid is that they go 98% of the show is boring as hell, and the last 2% of the show is something. Oh, that's pretty cool. And then when you watch the next episode, they bamboozle you for 45 minutes. In the last 2 minutes, oh look, a Sith showed up. I'm like, well, why didn't you lead with that? And it's a train wreck. It's a friggin' train wreck.
What's annoying? Ultimately, to me, and it's not just Star Wars. Star Wars is dead to me, as well as Star Trek. Both properties are dead. And what kills me is they're doing it again. Kennedy and the whole clan are blaming the fans. It's our fault.
Yeah.
It's our fault they write a bad story. It's our fault they can't
that's a sign of immaturity, Glenn.
That's our fault.
That's what it is. you know, in the old days when we were kids, we blame our parents for everything.
Yep.
That's what they're doing. They're blaming their fans for everything. No, own up to your crap because you're the one pulling the trigger
Right.
and putting
But you
that
know
on the
what?
big screen,
But
right? At
Steven,
the
I
end of
got to
the day.
say, you're kind of the fault. I'm going to pin it on you. You're kind of the fault because you are watching the series, which is still to them going, someone's watching the series. We cannot watch these
Well,
series. We cannot continue to give them money out of our
Glenn,
pockets to let them know.
Glenn, I'll stop you there. I'm not subscribed to Disney Plus, so
Okay, well, that's good.
I'm getting my shows from a dark alleyway, basically. So,
Okay, that's okay.
So
Then I feel better.
Yeah, I'm not paying for no Disney Plus. Screw that. I
Okay.
unsubscribed from that 2 years ago when they fired Gina Carano. I pulled the plug,
Good
and
for
I'm
you.
like, screw
Good for
that.
you.
I'm not. But I'm getting my Star Wars out of a dark alleyway, basically. Yeah, I'd like to.
But Star Trek
4
is no better.
episodes of Acolyte, please.
I can't believe this, Star Trek STD was on as long as it was. And I refused to watch Strange New Worlds the second I saw that Khan's great-great-granddaughter was on the friggin' bridge. I'm like, you know what? You guys can't write for shit. And I'm like,
You
done.
know what's it's really weird what's happening. I find it so weird that yeah, Adam, same thing. Subscribe to Cody. And it's sad because it's the Star Wars. They're taking the Star Wars name, and the show is barely Star Wars. It has a lightsaber, a couple guys in a robe, and
you know
they're
what?
force pushing somebody. Hey, it's Star Wars.
We
It's not
talked
even
about
that.
this before. We talked about this before.
Oh
So,
yeah.
it's not Star Wars even went lightsabers, because back in our day, you got so much as touch with a lightsaber, you're dead. Now you can
Or
be
you
impaled.
lost a lot of body
You
parts.
can be impaled multiple times, and you walk it off about 15 minutes later. All right, I got impaled. These lightsabers go through 4 feet of blast shields that are
Whatever.
designed to be pounded by
By lasers and
lasers
whatever.
and laser cannons and blaster fire.
Yep.
This thing goes in you, and Qui-Gon Jinn friggin' died like within 2 seconds. Obi-Wan Kenobi died. It's
Meanwhile,
it's
that
a
girl that got
farce.
stabbed is up in the hospital, and let's go, and that was it. It's not our Star Wars anymore, and
No.
quite frankly, I'm gonna watch all 8 episodes. Will I like it?
No.
Probably not. Probably not. But I want to make a good judgment by actually have seen it. That's how I am.
Here, Mike Ewan right here. Lightsabers are inconsistently represented in the new Disney. Everything
Oh, big time.
is inconsistent. The story, they'll say in 1 second the thread is not used for like killing people. Next 2 minutes later, let's use a thread to kill people. I mean,
Well,
there's
the one
nothing
thing
in
that
there.
they came up. Well, check. So a bunch of these hardcore fans have noticed that the conehead individual from the Phantom Menace was saying, "Hey, we haven't seen the Sith for 1,000 years," and meanwhile, they put that guy back in the Acolyte, and there's Sith running around, and you're like, "Is this guy an idiot?" And how old is he? This is 100 years before that. Then if you look on how old this guy is, it doesn't make sense. None of it. None of it makes sense.
Well, I don't
Just
know if this
like-
is true. I don't watch the series. I don't watch it at all. But someone was saying that the director, whatever her hell name is with the glasses, was saying that R2D2 was a lesbian or trans, something like that. I don't know where that came from. If that was even said in the show, I have no idea. But it's just something that I saw online. So I don't know if there's any truth to that or not. But Jesus Christ, leave R2D2 alone.
So I think we've given enough Star Wars publicity. Let's move on to the next subject because I think you and I are on the same page. Not a fan of this Acolyte. I'll watch it, but I'm not a fan. You know what I mean? I'll just watch it. It's like whatever. So what do we got next on the agenda? You're going next week to that show.
Next week, right here. So next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, if you guys are in the Philadelphia area and grab a couple of great Philly cheesesteaks while you're at it, I'm going to. I'll be at the Too Many Games show. And we'll come up with a little bit later because I have I can put it up right now. I got the floor plans to this. And let me get this thing off the screen. If I can figure out where I put it. Dang. If I go over here, let's see. Let's see if we can pull this up. So I'm actually sponsoring this show. And if I could find, I have too many buttons on here. So you can see right here, here's the main entrance when you come in. And
you're
I'm
right
here.
at the front?
I'm right here. I'm number 2. So it's number 1, which number 1 is Xfinity, and then GRS T6 is number 2. So basically, when you walk in, that's me right
Hang
there.
a left, and you're there.
I'm right there, and I'm going to have my a couple of 32-inch displays, and one will be using the light gun. The Target Pro will be there. We'll have the Star Wars yoke playing Star Wars games on another.
And you're
32-inch
driving
screen.
there. You're flying there.
I am driving there. Cole may come.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
not quite sure. I'm staying at a friend's house down there as well. It's not a hotel, so I don't know if Cole's going to actually. I would like Cole to go, but right now I'm driving down there. It's about 4 hours for me to get
with
there.
The sun. What can
If
go
not,
wrong?
I'll just road trip myself. But it's going to be a great thing. There's a lot of things going on here. There's a lot of content creators there. There's a lot of games, a lot of vendors there. But if you want to try out the Target Pro, the GRS Flight Yoke, the Ikari stick, that right behind me, right there, like literally right here. This is the one that will be at the show, and 2 people can play at the same time. I'm going to have the vertical screen you see right here. I'm just doing testing right now to make sure everything works. But you'll be able to play it the way it should be played in a vertical screen. 2 people can play it. What else am I bringing
At
down
least
there?
they'll get their hands on with the product.
They will.
Which is great.
I'll have my Tron stick there, so I can play some Tron on the screen. So I'll have a bunch of stuff. Now I'm not selling anything at the show, but we are going to have a lot of discounts. So when you go there, you'll get the your little badges and the GRS the QR code on your badge. If you scan that, you get some special deals, special prices on a lot of items off the website.
Cool.
I don't like going to a show and like sell stuff. I don't like that. Get it right. If you want it, no pressure. You can try it out. Just go to the website and order it from there. Looks like we got a super chat.
By the way. Yeah.
So
yeah.
Trekker, 3D Trekker.
Yeah.
Thank
Great
you.
show as always, guys. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. We really appreciate. You don't have to get. We always say the same thing. You don't have to give us anything. We appreciate you guys just coming on your Fridays, and especially now more than ever. You guys are great.
It's summertime too.
It's summertime, which shows we have no lives, but we appreciate you guys coming and spending time with us. I know I do, and hopefully, again, if you're around, it'd be great to see you guys at the show. If you guys,
this is again
around.
In Pittsburgh,
Philadelphia.
Pennsylvania. Oh, Philadelphia.
Yep.
Yeah, don't listen to me, the Canadian guy. Philadelphia.
But
I wonder what kind of drive that would be for me. One hell of a drive, I guess.
Well, to me, it was like 12 hours, wasn't it?
Is it? Wow. Well, let's
here
just
it is.
say.
See, look, Video Game Vegas, right here. There was an interview. It was an interview where they said R2D2 was a lesbian. Leave poor R2D2 alone. He is not. It's just, give me a break.
He's just a droid. Like, he's a droid.
Yep.
Anyway.
Yes, correct. There will be exclusive discounts when you go. I am actually a sponsor of this show. So my pretty face will be on there with a QR code. And just scan the QR code on your badge or on your ticket, and it'll take you right to our website for people to get special exclusive discounts for going to the Too Many Games.
You doing any giveaways while you're out there, Glenn, or anything like that?
I'll give away hugs and kisses, which I do at every show. I'm a cheap bitch.
Okay. All right. If you guys are interested in that, head out to Philadelphia. 12-hour drive to give Glenn a hug or a kiss.
Oh, look at this! No, R2D2 is not a mobile glory hole.
Okay, this is where the show goes off the rails a little bit here.
That's horrible. Poor R2. Oh, this I'm telling you right now. I'm absolutely.
So you're there for the whole weekend,
myself.
or what?
Yeah, I'm probably leaving Thursday night. This way, Friday morning, I go and set up, and then it's all day Friday, Saturday, and it's till 5 p.m. on Sunday, and then I'll be leaving after that on Sunday.
Cool.
Drive home, get work the next day. How that works, right? So,
cool.
What else is going on here? I do want to mention. Go ahead, Steve. Go ahead.
No. I was just gonna throw it back to you. Just say, hey, we talked about a few things before the show, and
we did. So another thing I wanted to bring up real quick is the. I hate. It's almost like burns my throat when I talk about it. R-Cade 1UP, but the
Why are we giving these people free publicity?
I know.
Why?
I know,
Why? Shame on
you. The USB port on the Legacy Center, because a lot of people have been asking me about. They want to use my version 3 trackball on there, which is this one right here, but the glow ring. It has multiple settings, different sensitivities. It's optical. It's very accurate. So that will in fact work. It's been We've tested it, and it does work in the legacy cabinet. There's a USB port on the motherboard. You go right to that on the motherboard, unless R-Cade want to block with a firmware update, which I wouldn't surprise me if they did. But as of right now, it does work on this cabinet. And I have to admit, it's a nice looking cabinet, even though I think they put it on a horizontal screen because of Missile Command over the vertical. But it's a nice looking cabinet. I still have 2 more machines that I got to sell. I did throw away a bunch of stuff before, so people got upset that I threw stuff away. But yeah, so just wanted to mention that real quick. Boom,
Cool.
that works.
So, what other movies are we gonna? Is there anything coming out this summer that's worth?
Well, we were talking about The
seeing?
Boys. I haven't seen the season 4 of The Boys yet. You seem disappointed with season 4 of The Boys.
I've watched the first 2 episodes. I find it's dragging. It's dragging on. It's weird. It's I find it's just dragging on. I don't know what it is.
Hold on.
It's
I'm sorry, Steve. Hold on 1 second.
no, go
Bill,
ahead.
I'm
go ahead.
sorry. With this, the trackball will work with Tempest, but the spinner does not. They firmware blocked the spinner on the USB port as well as on the main board, and we haven't been able to get around that so far. But the trackball will work. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Steven.
So everybody seems to think you'll be giving away an Acolyte poster at
Oh,
the show.
I will not. Maybe I'll give some Acolyte toilet
It'll be
paper. Used toilet
it'll be
paper.
signed by Glenn himself, by him
What?
taking a big spit on it or something.
Andy, what's going on, bud? Talk
Okay,
to
I
us.
hope he's talking about The Boys, because we were talking about
Okay.
The Boys.
Okay, maybe.
So,
Hopefully.
oh yeah, maybe he's talking about The Boys. You have to, Andy, you got to clarify that, because I think Glenn thinks you're talking about The Acolyte.
Yeah,
The
please
Boys.
don't.
Okay, yeah, he did say yes.
Okay.
He wrote yes. All right.
Thank you.
You got to
All
be
right.
specific, because you're giving our boy Glenn
I
here a
got
heart attack.
palpitations over here.
Yeah, so it's like, poor guy can't take it in one night, and then 1 hour setting. So The Boys, I watched the first 2 episodes. It's okay. They had almost a human centipede there in the sauna.
Oh, really?
Kinda. You'll see it and you'll be like, damn. It's kind of you know what? I'm starting to know this show really well, where my wife goes, how do you know? The show sets up when you're gonna see something really gross. They lead up to it. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, oh, I told my wife, I said, there's something gross behind that door. Something really gross behind that door. And sure enough, it was a human centipede thing. I was like, damn,
Ah,
I hate being right. So I was kind of like, oh, man. So, but anyways, so I'm going to watch it. I think they're episode 4 now, I think.
okay.
As the season's going on with The Boys. And it's, I don't know, it's losing its shininess, if you will. I don't
Well,
know.
you can't. I was going to say you can't have a show with every good episode, but then I've been
it's fine.
watching 911, which was a Fox show, which is I guess now on ABC, and I have not seen a bad episode of this show. I'm in season 6, episode like 13. And
Okay.
if you guys have not seen it, it's just
How
911.
many
There's nothing
seasons
else.
is there?
So far, it's still active. Season 7 is going on right now. They're like halfway
Season
through it.
7? Wow.
So, yeah, and I have to say I've not seen one bad episode of this show. And I'm a sci-fi guy. I don't normally go for these type of shows, but my son got me into it, and it's a really good show. If you guys are at all interested in a good show, 9-1-1, excellent show. It really is a good
Oh.
show. Oh, here we go. Look.
I'll
Boom.
maybe make a note right here, and my wife and I are wanting to watch a little something, so that's good. So
She would like it.
the
Well, there is a lot of blood in it because it's actually, firefighters and ambulance stuff. There's going to be some blood
I
and
feel like
gore.
all that stuff. I'm not a big fan, but I like my escapism when I watch TV.
Okay.
So I like to just, turn the brain off for a while and do whatever.
Okay.
But
That's fair enough.
when I watch a show, if it's grounded in reality, a lot of times I tend to be like, I deal with this crap all day. I just don't want to watch reality.
Well, it's funny though. 911 is ambulances and fire trucks and hospitals, and I work in the hospital, so it's like I do see some of this stuff. I think some of the stuff might be over the top, but my understanding is pretty much everything that happens, like, really, was a real thing. They may have embellished a little bit, but
Yeah.
everything is pretty much like a real thing that kind of happened.
Wow.
Vet1981 is here. Hey, Vet. Thank you for joining. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Don't watch
We got
the Acolyte.
new
We're just telling
people.
you right now.
Gamer
Watch
Fridges just showed. Well, that just showed up, but
There he is.
we've had a few guys there. So, but I mean, as far as TV, I'm still muscling my way through Voyager. We talked about that a little bit before the show. So as far as
Well, that's the thing, I think, Stephen. We have to constantly now go back and look at old
older
shows. 'Cause new
television,
shows
yeah,
kind of suck. They
yeah,
suck.
not all of them, but a good
No,
chunk
not
of them,
all.
anyways.
Not all.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's kind of hard to find one that's good.
Well, yeah, and
Ah,
you're like, well,
we got
okay.
Mary Sherlock. Look at that right there.
She loves 911 too. Cool.
It's a. There's
I'll
not
have
a
to
bad
watch that with my
one.
wife.
I
Is it
think
on
you'll like
Netflix
it.
or anything, or is it
It might be on
on
Hulu.
ABC?
It could be on Hulu because it was Fox and ABC.
Oh,
But
gotcha.
I know, Stephen. I'm sure you could find a way to
Go
watch
see
it
my
some
guy in
other
the
way.
dark alleyway.
That's it. That's it. But
He
I'm
provided me
not
with the
joking.
Acolyte. At the end of the day, it's good television's hard to find. Like I said, I'm enjoying Voyager, and I
Okay.
find that it's. I mean, let's face it. There's some weird Star Trek crap going on in there, but it's okay. It's good entertainment, man. It's just, I like it.
Well, hold on. So he's watching Ronald Columbo. I just got
Oh
my brother
wow.
to start watching the Rockford Files, and I didn't realize the first and second episode of the Rockford Files has Lindsay Wagner in it.
Oh really? James Gardner is the actor in there, right?
Yeah, and he was kissing Lindsay Wagner. So kudos to
He was
him.
getting some Lindsay Wagner action.
He was getting, and she was ready to give it up because he was charging $200 a day plus expenses and her check bounced. So she was ready to just, hey, I can pay you in other ways other than money. And he's like, nah, I'd rather the money. What? What's wrong with him?
Damn. Okay, a man with morals, I guess.
That's what
And Col-
I
and
was saying
Columbo.
that. Hopefully he didn't piss her off. She didn't like break his arm or something.
Yeah, yeah,
She wasn't bionic at this point. That was a couple of years later.
yeah. Andy's Game Room, I have to agree with you. I watched Voyager many years ago, and this second time around, I'm enjoying it more. 7 of 9's not hard to look at, I guess. Sorry, the
She's
girl
not, but now
watching.
they turned her. But now she's a lesbian
whatever.
in Picard.
Really?
So
Oh
yeah,
man. So
just make them all lesbians. Just make them all lesbians and throw them up in the air, and with just all the guys will sit in the corner with a fembot. That's all.
yeah, sure. Yeah, it's you know what's interesting? I sort of had this conversation with a friend of mine. If you took the Acolyte, but you didn't attach the Star Wars name to it at all, what would happen?
Well, I'm sorry, Stephen. 90K Fox joined
Space
Space
lesbians.
Sorry. What were you
No,
saying?
but think about it. Think about it.
Fox pulled
If
me
you
in with
took-
that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, space lesbians. That would sidetrack me too. Having a squirrel moment there. So, what if you took the Acolyte and yanked out the Star Wars branding of it? What kind of the show would be so crappy, nobody would even look at it.
It can go on Lifetime or the Hallmark Channel.
Lifetime or
And
the
that's where it
Hallmark
belongs.
Channel. Yeah,
That's where it
and
belongs.
that's what I mean. That's what I mean. These guys are piggybacking on Star Wars on their crap show. That's
But you know what? I can't really blame them. They're not the only people in IP that they're doing that to. They're taking
Oh, of course not. There's Star
legendary
Trek and-
properties,
Yeah.
dangling the carrot in front of the people who enjoyed it from our time,
Yeah.
and subverting expectations and destroying it in the process.
Well,
Destroying
that's
it.
the thing. The story doesn't even hold up, even if Star Wars wasn't a thing. See, I believe that if the story's going to be written, if you yank out the Star Wars out of it, it should still hold its own a little bit. You know what I mean? But it
I
doesn't
mean,
even
like
do that.
I keep hearing, and you talked about it, and people keep telling me Endor. Like they keep talking about Endor.
Endor is a nice slow burn. It's a slow burn. I find it's like a spy versus spy kind of vibe to it, or a Cloak and Dagger. It's a slow burn, but it's interesting. It's not terrible. I actually liked it. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. The Acolyte's far worse. I think the best two shows on Star Wars today was The Mandalorian and Andor.
Mandalorian season 1 and 2. Let's be clear. Season
yeah,
3
yeah,
of
for sure.
Mandalorian was not good. Um,
Yeah, it was a bit of
and
a
I will
train wreck.
say, people, I was talking to some guys at work, and they were like, I liked Kenobi. I'm like, what is wrong with you? That was
Get out,
horrible.
you're fired. That's
Yeah,
what I'd say. You're
that
fired.
was
Get out.
horrible. It was absolutely horrible. So Biggie D saying that's
Yeah,
what you need. You
it's a
need
slow
character
burn,
development
but
and a good
it
story.
was it was good. Like, you know what? It's good storytelling, and if they didn't mention the places, you wouldn't know it's Star Wars. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it didn't mention all the little hit points within the Star Wars universe,
Right?
you wouldn't know, and it still holds up. So I think Andor
Hey, Jeff is agreeing with you,
was
Jeff
good.
D. It's awesome whether it's Star Wars or not. It was just a
That's
good
right.
show.
That's why they just mention these things, and they're like, "Oh, that's a Star Wars universe." So these guys are like spy versus spy, underground kind of stuff, but in the Star Wars universe. So it's kind of, it's interesting to say the least. So, anyways,
Yeah,
as far as Star
do not
Wars,
worry. It's the third season of Mando, and don't watch Boba Fett at all.
yeah, save yourself the anguish, I
Just
guess.
don't do it. Just don't do it.
Yeah, it's odd. So, but anyways, what are we doing for now? We're at the halfway mark. Good, good. We got more to talk about, so
we're doing
that's
good.
good.
So let me talk about a couple of more things quick here. So I
Yeah,
gotta
yeah.
pull up. I gotta find my button here on my control panel. I'm still
Destruction button.
here it is. So just want to make this announcement too. So with the people who soon be getting their keyboard and control switcher for your iiRcade or the Viper, we've officially signed off. Actually, today we signed a licensing agreement with R-Cade. So before, R-Cade was going to do its own thing and kind of support the Viper, and we had the Viper, but we signed a deal with Arcade Center, Arcade, to be included with the Viper. So again, we had the Batacera 3.8 on our build, but I personally find Arcade superior to that. I think these guys do a lot of optimizations with the light guns, with emulators for the chipset. So we signed a licensing deal. We're going to purchase licenses. I won't incur a charge to you guys. We're going to include it still. Whether it's going to be, I'm still not sure if it'll be an SD card we include, or if we're going to actually put it right directly on the EMC on the device. You can still get the Batacera, but I think once you try the Batacera and Arcade, I think you're going to find that Arcade is far superior platform. And I know they're going to update this website soon with our partnership. So I'm very happy to be working with these guys. I think they're fantastic guys, and I think it's going to be anyone who has the Viper will like it. And as Viper progresses, we're talking about in the future, faster ones like the RK3588 and beyond. I think the Retro Center and Arcade, it will be just overall a better thing and a win for you guys. And again, I find it better, and that's more important because I think you guys will agree. Because if I like it, you guys like it too. So I think you guys will be happy with that. And also wanted to mention that New Wave Toys extended out their buying of the Golden Tee. It's got 10 days left on it right now, and they do have a cheaper version, which starts at $199. We get 20% off of that with the coupon code. And then they have the standard one at $249, and then the GRS version at $399. It is expensive, but it's fun. I'm just telling you guys right now, if you get it, it'll be awesome. So that is going on. The code right here is Golden 35. We'll get you 20% off on any one of these three packages. And what else did I want to talk about? I forgot what I even had here. Oh, we're going to talk about this over there. Those are the main things I wanted to talk about over there. How about you, Steven? What's going on with you? I babbled up like 10 minutes.
You're just so I finally, for those keeping regular tabs on the show, a few weeks back, I was like, hey, I'm looking for a Mac refurbishing project, we'll call it. And I found one. I found a Macintosh LC475.
Nice.
Has a 68040 LC running at 25 megahertz. So it's a decent little machine. I've got to replace the capacitors in there, the SCSI hard drive, all that stuff. So it's a little restoration project. I may hold off restoring it this winter because usually I have more time in the winter time to sit down and do all this stuff and whatnot. So, and then I got a whole bunch of Atari 2600 cartridges.
Yes.
Well, I got the second batch, so I showed you the
Oh,
first
after the one I
batch of
saw?
yeah. So I this summer I think I got like over 50 or 60 cartridges in different states of despair, and I got this one game. It's really weird. It's called Star. Man, I forget. Star Breaker or something like that. And when you plug it in, the screen rolls like it's in PAL mode or something. All my other games are fine, but that one there seems to do weird stuff. I'm like,
Really?
I have no idea. So if you guys know anything, I forget what the name of the game is. It's an Activision game. So Star Breaker or Star something rather. Anyways, you plug it in and it rolls. So and it's not my Atari 2600. It's whatever. So hey, I
Give me
got
the
a question.
cartridge.
I have two of them, and they do the exact same thing.
And you cleaned it?
So oh yeah, alcohol, the whole
Oh,
nine
maybe it's a
yards. You can
PAL
see.
version. You
Wow,
said
there's
the
two.
screen scroll?
Yeah, but would the PAL version be doing that?
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, so I got a question. The Atari 2600 Plus, since I got all these cartridges, is it worth getting the Plus, or is it a complete waste of money? Or does anybody in the chat have it? I don't
Did
know
they
if
allow,
you
you
have
have
it,
to ask
Glenn.
them. I didn't buy it because it's a 4-switch. I refuse to buy 4-switch Ataris. Only 6-switch.
Yeah.
I'm so pissed at Atari for doing a 4-switch. What the hell were they thinking?
Yeah, and you know what? I've, like I said, I've got these games and Video Game Vegas. I took a bunch of my.
That's a good idea. That's a great thing about like the old systems. The artwork they did in the 70s and the early 80s
They're
on these
beautiful.
cartridges. Amazing
They're
works
awesome.
of art. It's amazing when
Oh
you're
yeah.
stoned and on crack cocaine and everything else they were snorting back then. But beautiful artwork they were able to do back then.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So between the Macintosh and the Atari 2600, uh, and all that stuff, it's little pet projects and stuff like that. So I had this stacks of these cartridges, just cleaning them with alcohol, each single
Right.
one of them, and
Right.
some of them they were so nasty, some of them weren't so bad. So I'm just going through all of them and stuff like that. So I've got a lot of doubles. I've got I think 10 copies of Asteroids.
That
I'm like,
happens when you buy Atari. You're going to end up with a lot of extras.
oh yeah, for sure. So I'm kind of like, well, okay. So I'm just stockpiling them for now, and then there's some of them where the cartridge on the inside, the PCB fell inside the cartridge, and I'm like, we'll figure it out. So it's, and I'm trying not to have too many projects either. So my Macintosh, I'm anxious to see that one get to the finish line, and then basically the Atari 2600. So I have a Vader that's kind of broken. The Vader
Tell me about
edition,
it.
it does this really weird scrolling horizontally, and the game works, but the video signal at the top
It's got to be the
third of
TIA
it, it's
chip.
doing.
It has to be the TIA or a cap or something along those lines because there's not much that can go wrong on a 2600. It's such a primitive
Oh yeah.
system.
The electronics are bone simple in there.
Right.
So yeah, I'll have to take a closer look at it and maybe asking the whatever.
Especially when this is Video Game Vegas. That's the
Karate on
question
your
about
Mac. Maybe. It's like I said, it's the equivalent, like almost an Amiga Mac in a sense. It's the same CPU and everything. So I'm gonna put like some extra video memory in there, and I'm gonna put in a solid state SCSI drive, that
Nice.
kind of thing. So
It's funny because
little pet.
I know you got that Mac. I'm expecting to get a Mac SE, like the one right after the original Mac was released, and that's what I want. I want that
Mac
tiny
Classic, yeah.
classic. I want that tiny sucker, and I'll probably do the same thing: an SD card or a compact flash SCSI.
They
And
make a
drop it in
thing
there.
now. The best one I was able to determine is called Blue SCSI. So there's two models. There's the internal and external models of Blue SCSI, and you can actually take a micro SD and you can mount an ISO file of a CD on the SD card, and it'll mount on the Mac. And you can transfer files a lot easier and stuff like that instead of trying to,
Right.
mess around. So I had to buy a $40 video adapter too, because going from Mac to VGA is a whole different ball of wax.
It is.
So
It is.
So yeah, so I've got to replace the caps. I've got to work up the strength for this ginormous keyboard. It's heavy as all hell. It's just sitting over here, and I'm like, frig, that thing was heavy. But I'm excited because I just wanted one Mac. I didn't want.
But I want it like a classic Mac. I want the classic. I don't want the new Mac. I want the classic, like you have an older Mac with like System 7, System 6, something along those
that's
lines.
right. So the one that I've got will only take System 8 point something rather maximum, and that's what I wanted. I wanted a 68,000 base Mac is what I wanted.
Yes.
Whether it was whatever. The one I've got is towards the end of that era, just before the power PCs came in.
I'm getting the one right at the beginning. You get the one at the end. That's fine.
Yeah, and I've got the one at the end, which, color, faster processor. And there's a bunch of guys that make extra video RAM for the thing. They make custom ROMs. So you could put a ROM. This is what's different about a Mac. So the video memory is on the board itself.
Right.
And you can put up to 1 meg of video memory, which you have more colors and more resolution, blah, blah, blah. And you can have... with this Mac, you could put a ROM chip in there. It looks like a SIM from an old SIM, and it's a ROM. And what you can do is you can boot from that ROM and have a custom chiming sound and emergency discs, but on the ROM.
Nice.
So that's kind of cool. So, and then I'm looking for 128 megabyte SIM if I can find one.
They're out there. Post them on the chats. Go to like Discord, post in a chat. I'm sure someone's gonna have one.
Yeah, when I get around to it, I'll put the fishing line out there. But for now, I just want to get the capacitors replaced, clean it up.
Yes.
Make sure it runs, and if it runs with the basic Mac stuff, then I'll start hot rodding it. So I like tinkering with this stuff. It's kind of it's a lot of fun. So if you get into it, Glenn, just
I'm going to be getting into it. Real quick, John J asked, he got the New Wave Toys Berserk, and he wants to know if he can leave it on. Absolutely, you can. People leave theirs on for days and weeks at a time. It's fine. Actually, a lot of these units turning on and off is more wear and tear on everything, including the capacitors, than leaving it on. I would recommend, though, if you are plugging it in, have it either on a UPS or a surge protector, just to make sure that nothing spikes it coming in. But outside of that, you can leave it on, absolutely. And that's what's fun about these little machines. That you set them up and you leave them on in the corner and have the attract mode going, and that's
I still
cool
want
about
the little ghetto blaster, the little.
I'm telling you that the sound of that thing is damn nice, damn nice.
Yeah, I gotta save my pennies and then I'll get one. So it's pretty cool. So yeah, that's as far as my pet projects. That was it there. So there's not much else to add to that. So
I forgot to mention something as well, which I always do because I'm an old man. So the GRS Ikari Warrior Super Joystick Special Edition product is coming to a close. What I mean by that is our license to use the Ikari name, to use the SNK name, to use the artwork, was set to expire in August. We worked out a deal where it'll go until December 31st. So if we did want to get the GRS Ikari Warrior Super Joystick with the artwork, the box that looks like it, all that great things about it, you have to get it before December 31st. After that, it'll just be the GRS Super Joystick, and it'll be probably some generic artwork on the box. But the special edition version will only be until December 31st of this year. I will say, though, we are in talks with SNK for other projects. So keep that in the back of your heads. But as far as the artwork, what you're seeing right here, this will be, once it's here, it's here. Once it's gone as far as the artwork and the license for it. But the joystick itself will go on. It's not that won't go away. It'll still go on.
Cool. So what kind of project you got? So you're doing this Mac thing too, from what you're saying?
So I had, I had a couple of Mac items before, and I had one of my depressed moments years ago, and I don't know why I did, but I threw away my Mac laptop. I threw away my original Tier 80 Coco with the chiclet keys. It had a pen printer, stylus. I threw a bunch of handhelds away. I don't know why I did that, but I just I hit a low point, and I just started dumping stuff, and I threw it out. So it's gone. It's gone. So I've come across recently a Mac SE, or Mac Classic, whichever one that came out right after the very first Mac that had actually some memory in it versus so little memory you couldn't do anything. I'm expecting to get that in like a week or two, and I just always loved that little black and white Mac. I know Apple thought it was the biggest thing since sliced bread. It was very primitive, and the Amiga came out 1 year later and blew the socks off of it. But I always liked it because it looked like a Vectrex. And yes, they freaking stole the Vectrex design for that Mac. I'm sorry, they did.
Well, it's pretty damn close to it, that's for sure. Well, that's cool.
Absolutely.
So
I mean, you had your Amiga, and the Mac was better on the Amiga.
oh yeah, my Amiga 2000 emulated a Mac. What is it? A Mac 2CI.
Yeah.
About almost twice as fast.
Yeah.
Not quite twice as fast, but pretty close. And I would show people, and their minds would be blown, and they'd be like, "How the hell are you doing this?" And it's like, well, it's the Amiga, man. It's awesome.
Only Amiga makes it possible.
Yep. And still to this day, I'm running a Mac on that damn thing with the Pi Storm. The thing hauls ass.
It does.
It's incredible. So can't the Amiga 1000. I like the form factor of the Amiga 1000.
You know what? I could have got one
Vegas
for I could have got one for $99, and at the time, I'm like, why do I want to buy that? They discontinued it. How stupid was I? That is the most beautiful
you didn't know
machine.
it was going to be worth stuff. I mean, you didn't know it was going to be worth.
Well,
anything.
no, it's not so much as worth stuff. The design of it, with the keyboard that goes underneath, it was so slim. It was just a nice design.
If they would have kept that form factor and just changed the inside and maybe the markings on the front,
they gave it to the Germans, and the German says, "No, we make big steel case. 2000.
Yeah.
There you go."
Yeah, but 2000's a boat anchor. I mean, it's crazy.
It's a boat anchor.
So it's kind of like, So, but it is what it is, I guess. But as far as the Mac, it's a nice little thing as far as doing that. So, and I got myself a guy that I know. He's giving me a 21-inch Samsung multi-sync flat screen LCD, 4:3 ratio that I'm gonna put on the Mac. So it's gonna be a LCD 4:3. I don't know, a 21-inch, and it's gonna go with the Mac. So I'm gonna use that on the Mac. So,
what's funny, I have a couple. I acquired these Dell monitors. Let me see if I can. Can I bring this up here? Let me see if I can do this. Again, I have so many cameras here. Let me see if I can actually do this. Where do I even have it? Is it this one? Oh, I think it's this one. Let's see. Yes. So if I take this camera here, so I got these Dell monitors right here, and these Dell monitors actually have composite S-video in. So I was like,
that's cool.
Yeah, I thought it'd be great for the Amiga, but the Amiga still won't go to 15 hertz for the Amiga, even though I can take composite and S-video. It doesn't take the, they have the 15-pin to VGA adapter.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. So that's
I had a monitor just like that, and it died.
Yeah,
so I don't know if it was one, basically not a multi-sync, but it was like that with the composite S-video in the back, and it just died one day. So I didn't feel like taking it apart and changing caps and stuff like that.
Well, Eric, let me tell you right now, you want a Vectrex. You can't go through life without experiencing. Now, Steven, did you ever try Vectrex?
Never.
Oh man, you have not lived.
I'd love to, but I've just never been around somebody that had one. So I've seen them, but never played them. A friend of mine has one, but we didn't get a chance to even try it. And from what I hear, if you get one of those multi-carts with it, it's even better. So
it's great. It's a fantastic machine. I know we're coming close to the top of the hour. There's one more thing I did want to talk about, if it's okay. So I'm going to switch my cam here for a second. I'll go to this here.
You can talk about whatever you want, Glenn.
Thanks, Stephen. I appreciate it. So my friend Tim, he's a real nice guy. He's one of those people who used to email me. He would email
I'm going to say it. I'm going to do it. Timmy.
he would email me. He would say, "Listen, you know, I watch your show," and we would talk through email back and forth. But I get so many emails. I get hundreds of emails. I'm like, okay. But when the Ohio show had come out to do the game show out there, he's like, "Yeah, just let me know, and you can stay with me." And I never met him. Like I never met him. We only talked over the phone or even through email. And I flew out there. I stayed in his house. He was a fantastic guy. He's got a great wife, great kids, amazing guy. So recently he had sent me this. I have an Atari 400, and I love Atari, but he goes, "You have to have an 800." So he had sent me this right here. It's an 800 XL, and you know, it's
Does that mean extra large or?
well, it's actually because you had the 400 and 800, the original ones,
Okay.
but they only had 48K maximum. This one has 64K built in, and it's got the new wedge design on it. You know, it's got all the ports on the back, and he just said, "Listen, I'm going to send it to you," and he did. So that was, first of all, great. Just going out there, meeting the guy, and all the things he did. He sent me this. But I come home today. The reason I'm talking about this is I come home today, and you know it's 103 degrees, and there's a package at my front door. I'm like, "What's this?" I look at it. It's from Tim. So I open the box, and he sent me two things. He sent me first of all, he sent me a really nice letter. I don't want to go over what he sent in the letter, but basically he's just an awesome guy. But he sent me this really nice
An
letter.
actual handwritten letter, or was it typed out?
It was typed, but
Yeah,
the
no,
thought
but
was
like,
there.
no, but like, when you receive a handwritten letter nowadays, that's a big deal.
It is.
You know what I mean? Like, who takes the time to actually write a letter nowadays? You know, it's an email, it's quick, boom, it's done. But nobody takes the time to actually write a letter by
They
hand.
don't. But
You know?
it was a very hard. He just turned 60 himself. My brother turned 60. He turned 60. But he's just such a genuine guy. Too much. He's too genuine. He's too nice. He's like you and me times 50. He's just a really nice guy. So I
That's
get a
cool.
box. He writes a really nice letter in there, which it was really welcomed because I'm going through a lot of poopy right now in my life. But he sends two things. So this is the first thing he sent me, and I'm like, this is fantastic. A T-shirt
Of
with
Eagle
my
One,
space
that's cool.
with my Space 99 Eagle. So this shirt, love it. I love this damn shirt. I love
You're gonna
Space
wear it all the
1999.
time.
I'm gonna wear it. This is gonna be all worn out, but that was really nice for him to send this out to me.
That's
He kind of
cool.
knows I'm going through some stuff right now, and he sent this, but he sent me something else on top of that. So this shirt, I got to be very, very careful with because it's a nice shirt. I want it to stay nice. He sent me something else. And this is what he sent me. And I was just about to do this myself. I was waiting for it to go on sale, but I don't have to now. He sent me the 400.
the mini.
The 400.
The mini there. That's the mini you were talking about, right?
That's the mini. So I had the 400. I have the Atari 400. I upgraded the 400 with the 48K. I did all kind of mods to it. And I love my 400. I know people can't stand it because of that keyboard. That's what I loved about it. I love that membrane, quirky,
Weird. Yeah.
keyboard. And
Very
he sent
cool.
me this. So he sent me a T-shirt and that because he says, "Listen, Glenn, I know you're going through some stuff, you know, and he's just such a damn nice guy." So he
What a
sent me
nice
this.
guy. That's awesome.
He is. It was just really. I just want to thank Tim.
Totally
I just really
gonna,
want to thank him.
you're totally gonna use that too because you're more of an Atari fan than I'll ever be.
Oh
so,
yeah, I
Like, I mean,
love.
I know not, like, to be quite honest, Atari, the only Ataris I know is the 2600. I don't know the computer line other than the competition to the Amiga, the Atari ST, and a few others, and that's it. Like, so all this stuff is pretty much foreign to me, and I'm glad that, you know what I mean? Like, this is cool. This is very cool.
Well, I'm definitely looking forward to this because again, I am a big Atari fan. And I love the 400 on top of it, and there's been a lot of good reviews on it. And of course, it's got a USB port. You can load more games on there. There's a game. It's actually called Candyman, which is, I know Atari on the 8-bit, they made a better version of Pac-Man. I mean, much better than 2600. But Candyman is an even better version of that.
It's not that like that horror movie from back in the 80s and 90s or whatever.
No, they did a really, really good job on here. What's this? I said, no, please don't. Please don't. I'm trying to get rid of them. I don't want them.
Video
Please
Game
don't.
Vegas knows how to get under your skin.
He's
He
a good
does.
guy. Video Game Vegas is
Oh,
he's
he's
a
a
good guy
totally
too.
good guy. We had him on the show. It was awesome. He just knows what buttons to press on the Glen button panel there. That's
But again, this was such a nice gesture, Tim. And he calls me. He's like, Glenn, listen, I will come up there and I'll come fix your basement. He wants to help me do the sheetrock. And I think I'm getting to the point right now. I may actually say, Tim, listen, let's
come on
take
down.
a week. Come on up. We'll spend some time here. We'll do some stuff around here and get the basement, because I don't know what else is going to get done. I mean, I can do the sheetrock to a point, but he did his basement. He did a really nice job. He's a retired police officer, but he's such a nice guy. So I want to end the show. We started the show on a bad note with the Acolyte. I wanted to end the show on a good
with
note
an awesome friend like Tim.
with Tim and everyone in the chat. I mean, the chat drives the show, always has, always will. And
you guys are awesome in the chat.
I so look forward to everyone in the chat every week. I really do. It makes my week bearable, and it's funny. We talked about it before, Stephen, as well.
Both our weeks. I mean, like
it does.
For me, like just to remind everybody, for maybe the newcomers that wasn't here on our 100th episode, where I told everybody I went through a bit of a depression, mental health issues. This show and the community helped me out. So you guys have more value than probably that you think.
Absolutely.
To both Glenn and I, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because it's probably, we don't say it like all the time because we bitch about Kathleen Kennedy and stuff like that. But
I'm
the
serious
end,
about her.
Oh yeah, same here. No, but like the effect that it has on our lives and us personally is more profound than I think you guys realize, in a sense.
It really is.
We appreciate that, honest to God. So
yep.
It's
the weeks are
it
hard.
gets us through stuff.
Yep. The life is hard. Weeks are hard, and life has been difficult as of late for a lot of different reasons. And you guys are more therapy to both Steve and I than you guys realize. We really do. When we say appreciate you guys, we really appreciate you guys every week. Make me laugh. In the chat, Stephen told guests, he's not laughing at you like Angel was on last week. I'm not laughing at the guest. I'm reading the chat, and you guys
the
are
chat
hysterical.
The chat is hilarious and distracting in a good way. You know what I mean?
But you know what the funny thing is? Kathleen Kennedy's not an ugly woman. She's not an ugly woman. You want to make out with her? That's
speak
fine.
For yourself, there, chum.
Just keep her away from Star Wars stuff. And to be honest, Indiana Jones, she ruined that too. So.
Yep. My favorite movie of all time, Back to the Future. Her damn name's on there, and I wish I could take a Sharpie and take it off.
Yeah, it is.
I can't.
It's
like, oh man.
I never looked.
And I didn't know that.
Funny too. I really enjoy the Vader game on my
Oculus there?
MetaQuest 2, right? So VR, it's Vader Immortal. Love it. Why? I watched the end credits. Her name is in there as well.
It's like,
I'm like, son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. I'm like, I love this game, and her name was Kathleen Kennedy right there. Like,
then you were turned off instantly.
I was totally turned off. Totally turned off.
Yeah.
That we appreciate it. We appreciate you here every week, buddy.
Yep, exactly. So with that being said,
you know what? I'm going to say something here real quick. I actually would probably take the last Indiana Jones movie over the one before that with the quest for the Crystal Skulls. That one was actually the worst. I got to be honest. I will say this one was bad, the last one, but the Crystal Skulls really was bad. It was really bad.
There was some nasty. Yeah, for sure. But in the end, I think let's wrap it up. I think
he's lying. He's lying. No, you're right, Stephen. He's just trying to bust my balls.
He's pushing the buttons.
He does not like this. He's just busting my balls.
He's like the guy, in the back of Wizard of Oz, and he's pressing all the buttons and turning in the wheels. He's doing that, the Glenn buttons. So, but
the problem really wasn't Shia LaBeouf. The problem was the Tarzan scene with the monkeys, where the CGI was horrible. I'm like, what? The story was going so well, everything was going well, and they was doing Tarzan with monkeys, and like, you just ruined it. You just ruined
There's a lot of
that.
movies like that. Like if I were to indulge Independence Day when they destroyed the mothership with a Mac, I was done. I was like, I'm out. I walked out of the theater.
He's saying he's serious. He liked that one.
Okay, it's time to end the show right now. Like, pull the plug. Pull the plug. Pull the plug. Video game Vegas, you need to take a cold shower.
Time.
Go.
We are at time. Steven, anything you want to bring up, say, before our next show? Actually, real quick. There will not be a Kickin' Old School next week. I will be at the Too Many Games Expo, but I will try doing some live streams next Friday at this time, if I can, next week at the show. But
yeah,
I
can't drive out there or anything, so I'm not happening at the show. So maybe when we start making millions of dollars with the channel, and then Glenn could fly me out.
Keep smoking when you smoke, Steven.
That's what I mean. Until that happens, we'll be at episode 2000, and it still won't have that happen. So,
next week,
in the end, thank you for joining us. It's appreciated, as we shared a few moments ago, that it is appreciated. But what were you going to say? Sorry, I didn't want to cut you off.
I was just going to say that there's no show here next week, but there will be something. So just keep an eye out. I'll do some type of stream, but Kickin' Old School will be back in 2 weeks. We'll be back in 2 weeks.
And watch the audio work flawlessly over there.
Probably will.
Yeah, exactly.
But again,
so
thank you guys for watching the show.
Your kind words here. Come on.
Yeah, just thank you guys for watching the show. We really do appreciate. My job to send me a message is a problem in the office. Yay! But
yay, Friday.
I appreciate you guys. We really do mean it. We thank you guys from stem to stern. But remember, even our show, it's just a show. We're just two guys on the internet. Just remember your family and friends, people who are close to you guys. Let them know that they matter. Let them know that you care, because tomorrow's never promised. It can be here today, gone tomorrow. Just let them know that they matter. That's pretty much it.
Give them a big fat hug and a lick on the cheek, and that's it.
That's how I got COVID, actually. Don't lick them on the cheek. I got COVID that way.
Oh, unless you know them, So, no, that's good.
But guys, thank you so much, and
game on. Have a good night.
Are you looking for that arcade experience at home? If you don't have the space for a full-size arcade in your house or endless funds, then you need the GRS Build-A-Case. It's arcade quality without the arcade price, from someone you can trust. The GRS Build-A-Case is a very simple, easy to assemble, 1/6 scale arcade computer you can build yourself. You can buy interchangeable controllers for every gaming option you need to play the games the way they're meant to be played. You can also design your own artwork or purchase artwork separately to make your GRS Build-A-Case look like the machine of your dreams. The GRS Build-A-Case is also the only home system STEM certified. Come see what all the YouTube creators are raving about. GRS Build-A-Case.
Game on. Sit, Blue, sit. Good dog.